Hello everyone and welcome to my new video. God, it's been quite some time since I've done a video on this channel. I think it's about 5 or 6 months ago. I hadn't really intended for there to be such a delay in making my next video. It's just not been feeling so clever, and in that period of time, just as well as that, really just I needed a break, I think. I used to probably a year or two ago be reasonably prolific in almost doing a video a day, certainly at least a couple of videos a week. But I just kind of, not so much lost interest, but I don't know really. I'm somebody who prefers to watch other people's videos than actually make them myself. I have to really be in the mood to make a video, and some people are quite good at it. You know, they can make daily videos and weekly videos and monthly videos really regularly, and it's not something I'm able to do. It's something that I have to, you know, I actually have the desire to do it. If I don't have the desire to do it, I do find it very, very difficult. I don't really like making them just for making them's sake. So, you know, on my channel there are always going to be times where there are gaps. You know, I'm just going to make the videos. I think it's better for me, rather than just feel like I'm forcing myself making a video, that I'm just going to make them as and when I feel like it. And sometimes that could be, you know, I could do 2 or 3 videos a week, other times 1 a month, and other times not even that. You know, it could be a few months. I know that's probably not good if the objective was to get loads of subscribers and stuff like that, but that's never really been my objective. I didn't really set the channel up for that. It's nice that I've got the subscribers I've got, but the fact that I've got the number that I have anyway is nothing short of amazing for me anyway, because I never really thought I'd get a quarter of the amount that I've got. You know, I'm not out there to be one of the sorts of YouTube personalities that you see that amass together thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, or whatever of subscribers. That's just never been my objective. If it was, I most certainly would have gone about it a different way. Anyway, this is, I nearly said Resident Evil. It's not at all. It's Evil Dead Hail to the King. And it's just going to be a bit of a play and chat video. Really just sort of updating on where I'm at gaming-wise, what I'm doing gaming-wise, and just a little bit of a chat about this game. I think I'll get the chat about this game out of the way first. I'm playing this on the Dreamcast. I know it came out for the PlayStation as well. I don't know what other formats it came out for. I don't know if it came out for the PC or whatever. I'm sure it did. I'm not really that keen on this game. It reeks of a wasted opportunity for me. The main gripe that I have, and I know I've watched a video on here on YouTube from somebody who said, look, the constantly respawning monsters isn't that much of a problem. I kind of find that they are. I'm probably playing the game completely wrong, but it sort of markets itself as a survival horror. But I don't know if it's something that's just is a problem with the Dreamcast version, or whether it's something that was a problem with all of the versions of the game, but I find the controls absolutely awful. It's difficult moving Ash, the main character, around the screen, let alone trying to avoid the endless supply, and I mean endless supply, of these things, which I assume are the Deadites out of the movie. They just seem to exist purely to take away all of your ammunition, all of your chainsaw fuel, leave you defenseless, and then kill you. That's not really good gameplay as far as I'm concerned, especially if you're trying to do something in the survival horror area, because the key thing to survival horror is the decisions that you make, whether you choose to fight or run, usually define your survival. But it doesn't make any difference in this game. If something constantly is respawning, then it doesn't make any difference whether you choose to run or whether you choose to fight. If you take a game like Resident Evil, you have limited ammunition, you have limited health, just like in this game. And you have puzzles to solve and so on and so forth, just like in this game. But when you kill things, they stay dead. Yes, monsters can appear again in that area, but they're not reappearing. They're not coming back from the dead. It's not an endless supply. When you clear an area in Resident Evil, it stays clear until the next phase. So, for example, when you first go around the mansion, and you, at the beginning, if you do choose to kill all the zombies, they stay dead. And then the next phase is obviously when you've been outside and you go back in, and then hunters will appear. Now I know they varied it up in different Resident Evils. I think in Resident Evil, the remake on the GameCube, there was the red-headed zombies, the crimson heads, should I say. And, you know, they would appear and they would generally be a massive pain in the arse. But by and large, the sort of rules of survival horror is when you kill something, it stays dead. I mean, the whole issue of you surviving is the decision that you make. You either run or you stay. If you run, then obviously you've got to come back and kill whatever or avoid it again in order to get past that bit. But in this game, they make even that ridiculously difficult, because the thing like there, I mean, they just keep popping out of the ground. So it's very difficult to even anticipate where they're going to be. And the combat itself is bloody awful. And it's just a real wasted opportunity, because it kind of follows the story of Evil Dead 2. They kind of embellished a little bit on it. It's a great idea, and it looks the part, but it just plays like complete arse. And I just can't. I've tried continuously to play this game. I've tried to come to terms with it, but just trying to progress in the damn thing is a chore. And if you feel that when you're playing a game, if you feel that it's a chore, if you feel that the enjoyment factor just isn't there. I mean, like here, I've killed this bloody thing now a few times, and you know when you've killed it, because like there, they leave something behind. And then you pick it up and then it respawns again. It's just nonsense. It's not good gameplay. It's like they were artificially trying to make the game more difficult, which is, to my mind, something they just didn't need to do. The game would have been difficult enough without the endless respawning of the bad guys. And it was made even more difficult by an absolutely crap control system. And again, that may have been something that was exclusive to the Dreamcast version. The other versions may not have been so bad. But certainly the Dreamcast version of this game, the controls are just a bloody nightmare. As I say, simply navigating Ash around the screen is bad enough. And when you've got situations like this, it just takes the piss. It really does, and it just makes the game unenjoyable. There are better Evil Dead games, thank God, that came out after. It's just such a shame that they wasted an opportunity like this, because it does lend itself to the survival horror really well. The others became sort of more of like a formulaic shoot 'em up type game, third person shooter type game, more action based, and they were better. And that's usually not the case. Normally when a franchise goes down that path, they usually tend to be quite poor. So it really does show what a bit of a dog's dinner they've made of this. As I say, it could be me just playing it wrong, but I don't know. I think a game should be playable, and if it's not playable, and if there are issues with the control system, and there are issues with stuff respawning, then I don't think that's me at all. But that's just my opinion. Anyway, rather unexpectedly, I ended up getting a PlayStation 4 at Christmas. It wasn't something that I thought would happen. I didn't think I'd be joining this next generation for another year, 18 months. Certainly, I didn't anticipate getting a next-gen console prior to a price drop, certainly. And, I would have been perfectly content to stay with my PS3, my Xbox 360. I did want a next-gen. As a gamer and somebody who loves playing games, the PS4 in particular really appealed to me as something that was going to push games forward. And I'm not a Sony fanboy. I've owned the Xbox. I've owned an Xbox 3. Well, I've owned more than one Xbox 360, to be honest, because I had about 4 of them blow up on me. And I would have said that the last generation, the Xbox 360, was probably my main console for gaming right up until the last 12 months, really. I think PlayStation Plus sort of changed that for me. And Microsoft really sort of seemed to have the attitude of, well, we want to try and push all of the, the more app-based stuff and the TV services and all of this kind of thing. I know it's cliche, I've been through it before in previous videos, but that was really what they seemed to be trying to go more towards. I think they kind of felt that, well, we've got the gamer side of the market cornered, let's try and expand the appeal of the console, and that's fine. I don't begrudge any company that tries to try to expand on its customer base. Every company does it some way or another, but in general you have to be careful that you don't alienate the core market, and I think that's kind of what Microsoft came very close to doing with the Xbox One. To me, they seem to run very perilously close to alienating their core market, which made the Xbox brand successful in the first place. And believe me, that wasn't people watching TV or movies, that was gamers. But I think it's fair to say that they've recovered quite well. If you look at the sales alone for Xbox One prior to, and over the Christmas period, they've been good, and Microsoft, rightly are happy with that. So, they obviously have managed to turn it round. The PlayStation 4 at the moment seems to be, flavour of the month. It seems to be in relative short supply. It seems to be that, the must-have games console. And having owned it, I have to say I absolutely love it. It's the dashboard, the interface, even using a controller, it's very easy, it's very intuitive, it's not cluttered at all. It's a real improvement over the PlayStation 3's cross-media bar, because they've kind of moved stuff. They kind of moved elements of the cross-media bar right. It's kind of difficult to describe it. I should really do a video, but at the moment I don't have a way of capturing without pointing a camera at the screen. I'll come on to that in a moment. But all of that kind of stuff is put at the top of the screen, and the sort of day-to-day stuff that you're going to use, for playing games and stuff like that, is in the main area. Apart from the friends list, which is also at the top of the screen. That's kind of a bit bizarre, but it's very easy to navigate. It's exceptionally easy to use. So I have to say it is well worth checking out. And the games that I've played on it so far, I've played Battlefield 4, Call of Duty Ghosts, Assassin's Creed 4, FIFA 14, and Killzone. I forget what it's called now. I've really enjoyed. They look fantastic. They look gorgeous. I suppose you could argue that's what you'd expect, but it does look nice. It's not a huge leap. I can't say, it's as big a leap from going from PlayStation 2 to PlayStation 3. But you can tell the difference. Everything looks a lot sharper. It moves a lot more smoothly. Just overall, I mean, you might not think that warrants spending £350 on a games console, and you'd be quite right. But, there are signs there that, there's potential there for it to have some really awesome stuff coming out in the future. I don't know about Xbox One. I don't know what that's like because I don't own one. But I own in the PlayStation 4. I've been really enjoying it. I've been really enjoying playing the games on it. And it's kind of given me back a little bit of my gaming mojo. I was becoming a bit jaded towards the end of the last generation. And it's not because there was a dearth of quality of games. There certainly wasn't. I mean, the quality of games available on both the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3 were absolutely fantastic. I mean, that generation ended very, very strongly indeed. And, in fact, it's not ended, one could argue, because, there's still some really good games coming out for them. And I'm glad because, I mean, I have no intentions of getting rid of them. I still like playing on them. And that, to me, that's how it should be. And I hope they're supported for some time to come because they have been out for a number of years, and they have had some amazing and fantastic games for them. And I'd hate to see them just suddenly disappear. Both the consoles have been awesome in their own way, and provided me certainly with many hours of entertainment. I just think I was getting a little bit jaded. And I really hope that this next gen, I hope they do come up with some new ideas for games as well. I'd hate it for it to just be constant sequels. That's pretty much what's been at launch for the most part for these consoles. And I'd like to see some new game franchises start out like they did last generation, because that's what keeps you interested, that's what keeps you going, is the new stuff. Constantly playing sequels, okay, it's great, but the backbone of the games industry is new ideas, and as long as you've got new ideas, people will stay interested. If it's just going to be sequel after sequel after sequel and with very little in the way of innovation, people will get bored and they'll start to search for their entertainment elsewhere on different formats and stuff like that. That's why you've seen a rise of indie games in the last few years. It's because people have become jaded of the same old games over and over and over again. Anyway, that's pretty much it for that. As I say, apologies, it's been a while since I've made a video, but like I say, I don't want to get into the trap of feeling that I have to make a video every week, month, whatever, because I will become jaded of it and I'll just stop doing it. I know my own mentality on the thing, so I will just get bored. And that's pretty much it. I'll try not leave it as long before I make another video. I can't promise that. I'm not going to promise that, but yeah. So anyway, just going to sign off now. This has been Evil Dead Hail to the King on the Sega Dreamcast. As I say, big disappointment really, wasted opportunity. Should have been a much better game than it turned out to be. And yeah, I mean, if you want to check it out, I'm sure you can pick up a copy of it cheap, but not for me. Not for me. There are better survival horror games out there, and they're certainly worth checking out. So anyway, thank you for watching.